next month is also here. All right. Officers' reports. I'm going to let my comments go till the end, with the one exception, and that is for the 4 members who are here, new members, ethics training is required. That's about a 2-hour course you can take online. Just go to Empower LA website. You'll see the ethics training button and just follow it. You don't have to do it all at once. It's in 3 parts, so you can do it in about 45 to 50-minute increments, and it will save the information. It would be great if all 5 of our new board members had their ethics training completed by the time we're sworn in next month. Budget. Yeah, there is, if there are sanctions that may be placed if someone doesn't take the training. So we were fortunate to be the very first neighborhood council to complete the training before September 1st. We want to keep that record going. Melvin, you have a few words for us?
I noticed on your agenda you do have an item for election results, so I can say and speak to that as well. Okay. But in addition to what you just mentioned, besides the ethics training, there's also the funding component, the 20-minute training that is just as required, so that all board members can vote on funding matters.
Right. That's also on the website.
That's also on the website of empowerla.org, and on the right side you'll see buttons, and one of them will be ethics, another one will be funding, and so you can do them online in time for the next board meeting.
Thank you. And when we get to that topic in a moment, I'll recognize you. All right, we're going to move to board issues and updates, starting with review and approval of the U.S. Bank purchasing card transactions, the statement, the February monthly expenditures and budget report, including any potential reallocations and then encumbrances to the existing budget. And I'll turn it over to our treasurer.
All right, so I'm just going to run through the transactions during February since last meeting. So first item, we spent the monthly GoDaddy to GoDaddy.com was the website, the name, February, $5.99. That was a credit card. Under general outreach, we had 2 credit card expenditures, one to Togo's, one to Vaughn's. So February's food, Togo's was $90, Vaughn's was $28.07. We encumbered $300 to Mark Kovader for the video editing of the ethics and science training that we had here. And ethics compliance, whatever. Credit card, we use to pay that for $300. Under the newsletter, we reallocated, based on the vote last month, $44 from the newsletter to rent. There was a deficit. We also reallocated $106 from the newsletter to community improvement. That's typically where we put remaining balances.
Teachers, please excuse the interruption. This is the end of the first session. Please be sure that you have passed out the red tickets. Be sure you pass out the red tickets for session 1. Session 2 will begin at 7:25, and in session 2 we're going to pass out the blue tickets. Again, thank you, and we've ended session 1, and now on to session 2.
If you has a red ticket, you're in the wrong room. Go ahead, Brandon.
Meeting expenses, we spent $83.86. Used credit card, the income card, to Postal Plus, and that's all the paper copies for these meetings. Looking down, rent, that's where we reallocated the newsletter, $44. Community improvement, we encumbered $2,000 to the Rotary for the Veterans Park maintenance. They also submitted very timely the demand work, so I already submitted it to done. Last one was just a reallocation of 106 from newsletter to community improvement line item. In addition to those, I've highlighted two items that I want to unencumber. You can see for elections, the elections are now done. So there's $1,400 remaining, and there's $500 encumbered for Granada Hills Chamber of Commerce. They're no longer going to have a newsletter. They didn't have a newsletter. The elections are over. So we can unencumber the $500 and reallocate that $500 plus the $1,400 down to neighborhood purpose grant. So that would be included in my motion. Also, there's $550 left in advertising and bus expenditures. That was to Martin Advertising, and because of Mark Colbatter, the cost went down from 800 to 250, so the remaining is 550. And so, yeah, so I'd also like to move that 550 down to the neighborhood purpose grant. So I'm making a motion, including all that. Do I have a second?
Seconded by Dr. Bob Luzak.
Any discussion?
First up, any public comment on that?
That's what I meant. Any public comment?
To which purpose, right? Doesn't matter which purpose.
No, it's just in the general budget line.
It'll be the left. Community.
I just have to second it, was that Bob?
Yeah, Jerry, I'm sorry.
Had a question about rent for meetings. Where, I don't recall that we had a meeting in the pavilion this year. Was that for the pavilion?
No,
The rent is for
public
storage.
storage.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? All right, seeing no discussion, ready to vote. All those in favor of approving the treasurer's report, signify by raising your hand, please.
I have 4.56.
All right. Opposed? Abstaining? Motion carries unanimously. And Anthony, let the minutes show that Krishna Valesco, Crawford Valesco is not here. Hey, Krishna, I'm going to ask you to move, if you can, move up right here behind Cindy, so that as we're taking votes, we'll be able to count everybody's hand. Not miss anybody. Method to Amanda's folks. I did not. Okay. Number 2, report on the election results from March 1, 2014. What happened to Melvin? He's outside. Maria, pull Melvin back in here, would you? Tell him he's on. We're moving right along, Melvin. We're up to that item, and if you'd like to say a few words.
Northfield Seas will be happy, though. I need to make it to their meeting. All right, good evening, everyone. Melvin Cañas, I'm a project coordinator with the Department of Neighborhood Empowerment. And so to give you a quick recap of the election so far, I did hear from Glenn Bailey, the election administrator citywide, that there has been one challenge that has been submitted to the department, and so the department will have up to 30 days in which to review and issue a resolution to the challenge. And so because of that, I will need to wait until that, and so which will take us until the next your general board meeting to be able to hopefully sit on the board pending the result of that challenge. I don't have any details on the challenge, but Glenn may be able to provide some. I don't know how much he can be able to provide, but he can provide some information. There were also about a little more than a dozen provisional ballots that were yet to be counted, but we expect that'll be done by city clerk by tomorrow. So what remains right now is just to resolve the challenge. And so Like I said, by the time of your meeting in April, we should be able to set the new board, just with a final tally of who the new board members are, depending on what the challenge is.
Well, we were told in any case, because you have the 5-day certification period, and this meeting falls within that period, that we wouldn't be able to seek the new board.
Yeah, very, right on the border, exactly. That was an issue that we were contending with up until late this afternoon, and then we then confirmed that there was a challenge, so yeah, we weren't able to do anything. So hang tight for those of you who have been, on the preliminary results, have been elected as new board members. Appreciate your willingness to serve. We're just gonna have to wait another, 30 more days, another month, until you can, sit on this side of the room and start serving your community that way.
Oh, I have a question. Can challenges only be filed by a candidate, or can they be filed by anybody?
There is a provision in the election manual, and from what I remember, it does have to be someone who qualified as a voting stakeholder, at least, not only candidates, but also stakeholders. And there may be another caveat in that you may need it to have participated in the election, I believe, but that's also outlined in the election manual.
So it has to be a candidate.
Or voter. Basically a stakeholder of the neighborhood, but the only difference this time around, I believe there was a provision in the manual, which we can check on the online in the manual, that says that you may needed to have participated in the election if you're a voter, was a voter. But so it's not just candidates, but basically stakeholders in general.
Participate, you mean at least voted, correct?
Yeah.
Participation.
Yeah, we can check on the manual, but yeah, it's not just candidates. I want to be sure that it's not just candidates who can file challenges. Dave?
Is there a question? Oh, okay, Vern.
So, since the final results aren't really posted until because of the challenge, does the new elected members, do they have to wait to fill out the ethics training and the funding training, or do they just do it?
No, I would say get it done.
But it's not restricted.
There is a preliminary results posted on our website, empowerla.org, elections 2014. You will see a list of the results of the election as of last Saturday. So you can see who won, and so if your name is there, I would encourage you to do the training.
It's also on our website.
Okay. So
Yeah, it is on your website as well, yeah.
so it doesn't really have a link with the election results, like we can just take a training.
Oh yeah, the training is available to anyone, is available online, yes. You don't have to be a board member, a sitting board member to do it.
Okay, one at a time. First with Mark, and then with Joel. Go ahead, Mark.
Can you explain more, are they challenging the whole election process? I don't understand what you say by challenge our elections.
Right, well, there can be different reasons. I have not seen the actual challenge submitted. The Department Election Division would have it. There are many different reasons. Challenging whether a candidate is a eligible stakeholder, whether...
Could be just an individual.
It could be against an individual, which would still hold up everything, yeah. The whole board has to be seated all together.
Oh.
All right, Joel?
Yeah, I just wondered if, since there were, 5 newly elected candidates, the assumption being that maybe one of them is being challenged, does that become public record as to who's being challenged, so that the other 4 can continue on, or is there training, or is this,
Everyone has to be seated together. Yeah, so
Right.
even if a challenge is against one individual candidate, questioning their eligibility as a candidate, we would have to wait until the resolution of that to seat the whole board, to install the whole board, yeah.
Kristen?
I want to make a statement and I want to ask a question. I know as candidates, we're not allowed to election within 100 feet. There's a certain distance that we had to stay. And those people who were there did stay, within those guidelines. But I did find Mr., how do you say his name? Guzman? I did find him what I would consider electioning also against our board members that he didn't want at the door of the facility. As people were walking in, he was bad-mouthing. And is that fair for him to do that, be able to stand at the door and convince people to vote against, certain people when candidates have to stay, they're that 100 feet distance away?
You know what, I hear what you're saying, and that would have to defer to the election division. I mean, if the individual is a candidate running that would benefit from that, then I can see issues arising from that. But if the individual is not, then that may be a whole other matter. Basically, someone maybe an issue exercising their, right to speech, right?
I am a lawyer, but I've been taking constitutional law in years. But it is a First Amendment right. But my understanding, my recollection is as long as they're not obstructing the right of way, and they're not impeding the flow of people trying to vote, then that would be okay. But if someone is sitting there obstructing the right of way for ingress and egress, they're also having issues with people trying to get through and vote because you have a right to vote. Then there might be some illegality there. So you may want to talk to the city clerk or even the DA.
All right, anything else? Melvin, thanks very much.
Yeah, I just had a thought on that. I mean, a candidate couldn't send somebody out, a friend, to stand at the poll and do something similar. So, I think something like that might be properly referred to the federal election investigation division, and see if there were any violations of. It is federal election law.
Who else had their hand up? Yes, Renee.
I did talk to a couple of people that voted for me that day, and I was told that there were some candidates, I don't know how far away from the door, but campaigning in the area around the polling place. And they didn't make mention as to who they were exactly, but they were catching people as they were going in to vote.
And that's perfectly legitimate as long as they're within the 100 foot.
Outside of the.
Outside of the 100 foot. All right. Anything else?
Melvin, you have 5 days to file a grievance?
5 days from the day of the election, so, yes. So from Saturday till today, basically.
And when does the 30 days start? Because if it was filed today and it's 30 days, then we're not going to have.
Yeah,
we're not going to have a result before the next meeting.
Well, we have up to 30 days. Normally, up to 30 days to resolve it. It doesn't mean that it's going to go to 30 days. What Glenn informed me is that it may start counting as of the time that it was submitted. So if it was submitted yesterday, as of yesterday, but yeah, there is a chance that it was submitted today, and it does take the 30 days. It may impact next month's meeting depending on the time. So, but in that case, we can have two post. We've done it with our neighborhood council where we post we post the items on the agenda, and if we cannot have it, we remove those items from the agenda when the meeting comes.
Well, hopefully you're going to get on it. And
Hopefully there won't be any need for that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we're going to move on. I will note that the initial balance sheet is posted both on Empower LA and on our website. So if you're interested in how the actual voting came out, it's there, and the candidates are also there. We're going to move on to item 3. Discussion and possible board action to approve up to $100 for the Joint Council Faith-Based Luncheon scheduled for March 12, 2014. This was requested by Bob Hudson, our faith-based representative. And I'll turn the floor over to you to make the motion to start. So moved. So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Anthony Matthews. Public comment on this item? I see none. Bob, I will give you the floor to speak if you wish on this item.
Simply having a luncheon next
12th. It's
the 12th,
Wednesday, I believe.
Wednesday. It's going to be at the Granada Hills North Neighborhood Council office, where we have tables and facilities set up. and we're expecting about 20.
Brandon, question?
Is it, will the neighbor council, Granada's North, only $100 also, or is it just gonna be us?
No, we swap. We've been alternating.
Okay.
We're alternating, so this was our turn. And we have 2 a year.
It's up to $100.
Up to, yes. Any discussion on this, other than Bob's? Brenda? Yes. Yeah. What time is the?
11.
11 a.m. And if you're in class, right? Yeah, okay. All right. Anyone else?
And what's the thought process for why are you having this?
This is something we've been doing for several years with, jointly with Granada Hills North, bringing in pastors and
Churches in the area.
other religious leaders in the area, and discussing topics of mutual interest.
Letters have been sent out to both north and south, all churches represented.
All right, all those in favor of this, I want a hand vote. All those in favor, raise your hand, please.
Okay, there's 17 of us in the room.
17, all right, so let's take
17 out of 1.
Thank you, Captain.
So I'll stay right here. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I've got 16.
That makes me unanimous. I don't vote unless it's a break of time. All right. There wasn't anyone opposed or anyone abstaining, because that's full vote, full house. Yeah. Jack's over 2. Okay. What? Discussion number 4 is discussion of possible board action to approve an additional $1,500 funding for Friends of the Granada Hills Library. Funding will go to purchase of additional books for the Granada Hills Library. I'm going to call on, we have a couple representatives here. Where are they? There they are. And I'll call on you in just a moment. I just will remind you all that the initial request was for $3,000. We passed half of that several months ago, and then we voted to agendize that for this meeting. Yes.
As far as current members of the Granada Hills Library, do they need to be recruited?
No, unless they're on the board, they don't need to be recused. Hold on, let me finish. The city attorney has made it very clear now at this point, that as long as you are not on the board, you do not need to recuse. All you need to do is disclose that you are a member of the organization.
Last time,
I know.
not on the board.
I understand, but that's been clarified.
Overly.
All right, so.
As long as you're not an officer.
Okay.
Okay, so both Debbie Woobin and Anthony Matthews are members of that organization, correct? Full disclosure, all right. Okay, so do I have a motion for this funding? Cindy Wu, a second. Seconded by Eric Manster. Any public comment? Well, I'm going to call on a representative from Friends of the Library first with any comments. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Rita Rice, and first of all, I'd like to thank the council for your support for the library. It means so much to us, and we have used the donations in the past to continue to add to the collection of the library. As you know, there's been funding cuts within the city, and so the Friends, our goal is to raise funds for the library. Our main thing that we do is our book sales. We are having one next Friday and Saturday. You're all welcome to come and buy some books. We're also doing a fundraiser on March the 25th at Pesto Pasta, and we certainly invite everyone to come. They're going to donate 20% of the funds to the library. And what
Ladies
our
and
goals
gentlemen,
here...
that's in session 2. Please make sure you have a blue ticket. Again, make sure you have a blue ticket. And then on to session 3. And a purple ticket at session 3.
Go ahead, Ms. Rice.
Okay, so we are here tonight to request an additional $1,500, which the Friends will use for the library to purchase materials. And we thank you.
Very good. All right, public comment on this item. Yes, Mark Owen.
Within any kind of publications or anything within the library, I know it's a non-political issue, but is our name mentioned in there that we donated this money to?
We have not done anything publicly. We have been trying to work with Granada Hills Magazine to get a thank you. It hasn't worked out for us yet. We've been having a little trouble with them. But we are actually putting up a banner coming right up to thank the patrons and the community for their continuing support, and we would be more than happy to do something for just the council.
That would be great.
And we also wouldn't mind a letter or anything that we could put on the website to acknowledge us.
Okay, absolutely.
Any other public comment first? Room?
I was just wondering, how do you guys decide to purchase which books?
I will have Pam Rhodes, our senior librarian.
I'm a senior librarian and the managing librarian. We make acquisition decisions based upon demand in the community, what people are looking for, homework assignments, entertainment, all kinds of criteria comes into the decision for purchasing. And we look at what circulates in that kind of thing.
All right, any other public comment? Yes, sir, Mr. Hilger.
Yeah, the Granada Hills Public Library used to be, I don't know if it still is, one of the highest circulation libraries for students in the entire city. And that is a testament to the literacy and the interest in education of this community. And we thank you, and everyone should thank each other and continue doing it. Over 40 years, it's been a good library.
Thank you. Any other public comment? All right, discussion among board members. In favor of first. Yes. Brandon and then Nancy.
So I've worked with you all very closely through email, so thanks for being responsive. I know you mentioned you have book sales and I guess we're buying books. Is there a specific large ticket item that you guys are going to be using this for? Is it just for books?
It's for library materials.
So would you use for upgrading the computers in the library, or would you
The grant was submitted for the use of library materials, which includes books and DVDs, which is part of the collection that people read, CDs, audiovisuals. We also included in that definition for supplies. When the Friends of the Library purchases books for us, we have to put jackets on them, library type jackets and that kind of stuff. When we buy DVDs that the community checks out, we put them in locking security cases so they don't get stolen. So there's a whole gamut of materials that we need to make them functioning for the community.
Is there a time frame in which you're going to utilize we've given $1,500 from last fiscal year, so a total of $3,000 this year. This will get to $4,500 for this year.
Yeah, the $3,000 has already been spent.
Oh, it has.
The $1,500 will be spent by the end of April. So we're at April.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure it was being used.
You're not going to let it sit around.
Oh, no.
All right. Before, I've got a couple hands up. Hold on. Anyone opposed? I'm going to take anyone opposed next. Robert's Rules of Order, remember? All right. Anthony had his hand up next. In favor of, I assume?
I just want to say I'm a member of the Friends of the Library, and it's actually a requirement to be on one of the board committees, but to be on one of the board positions. But I have attended a couple of their meetings, and I want to tell you, this is no ordinary organisation. This is an organisation that has at least 25 or 30 people that show up to a meeting on a Saturday morning when they have their board meetings, jam-packed full of people. They've got all kinds of things going on.